All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Saturn Return Diaries podcast. My name is Courtney. I'm your host. If you're watching this live, I am digging this like green screen, except my head gets really cut off. So you can't even see my bun, which is kind of hilarious, but it is what it is. If you can hear a vacuum, well, they're vacuuming outside as soon as I started to do this. So we're just going to go for it. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Currently, as I am recording this, it is Aries season. It's the Aries new moon. So I'm really feeling this like bout of productivity and I am choosing to use it. So today's episode, we are going to talk about something that has been on my mind all week. And if you saw the title, then you already know. But before we even get into that, I just want to remind you guys that there's a lot going on astrologically this month. And if you are somebody who wants to have a birth chart reading or check in with your astrology chart, I offer those. And you can choose which one over on Instagram. So either go to @Saturn Return Diaries or Bravely Beautiful brand. And those are the two main places that you can find my astro sessions. So if that's something that calls to you, you want to learn astrology and take a course, you want to book a session, I have all of those available. And so I will just say that. And without further ado, let's get into this. I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to be a little bit sassy today because this is something that I am like very passionate about and it's been on my chest, on my mind for a while. And this is the time to get it out into the world and let you know. So, if you've seen the title, you know. Today we're going to talk about Saturn and authenticity. Now, this is sort of specific to Saturn being in Aquarius, but there's a lot of situations coming up at the moment that I've just noticed a few things. And I want to talk about the shadow and higher frequency sides of this like Saturn and Aquarius type of energy and how I'm seeing it play out. So, number one, I want to start off by saying Saturn has been in the sign of Aquarius for a while, which is how this podcast has been birthed. And obviously, I've been going through my Saturn return, and I have Saturn and Aquarius in my chart at 0 degrees. It cusps on the 11th and 12th house, like right on the exact line. So I'm officially over the hump of my Saturn return. I won't get another hit. I'm in a rebuilding phase, but I do get this essence of like Saturn channeling through me quite a bit. I'm very Saturnian and I'm also very Uranian, which is both very Aquarius energies. So where I'm going with this is like a little bit of sass, a little bit of tough love as per usual with Saturn, and also a little bit of like Uranus speaking as well, because Uranus is that rebel, likes to do things in a different way. And so I'm trying to channel both of those today. Okay. So just bear with me. Saturn in Aquarius is about being yourself, like being your most unhinged version of self. Like, you're not supposed to come here to be a carbon copy of everyone else, like the world and society has conditioned that to be. Stay with me, okay? We have grown up in a world that basically prides people, or, you are praised for doing the same thing. Like, follow this roadmap, go here, do this, get married, go to school, get married, get a good job, have children, yada yada. And if you do that, there are rewards. You're probably going to get some form of appraise from family members if that's something that's really important to them. You're probably going to have safety, you're probably going to have security, job security. You're probably going to have benefits from your work. You're probably going to have these things that are rewarded because you're choosing to live within the society that was chosen for you. Now, some people like this. So there's literally nothing wrong with this if this is what you want to do. But my point here is that that line, that path, it's easy because it's already been carved. There's already a roadmap. It's easy. There's a roadmap here. This is what you do because we've already paved this path for you. So like if you just follow it to a T, like you'll be good. Except for the inner world, that soul world of fulfillment, of joy, of true like soul alignment. If it is not aligned with that path, you are going to feel like you're dying inside, and then you're abandoning yourself, and you're also not being authentic to you or anyone else. Now, I think a lot of us who are younger, millennials, Gen Z, we're really attuned to this, and like we're breaking part of those generational things, and it's hard for the other generations to see. And although I think they're really coming to terms with it and being like, oh yeah, like I totally get it. There's a lot of like people who are of the older generation who are completely changing their life right now. Saturn in Aquarius, though, is like pave your own path, like forge your own shit forward, like stop following everybody else. And that's obviously one example I gave you, but like as someone who is on social media and I do social media management, I have my own brands. I see this playing out in so many different ways. Now, this is where I'm going to get a little sassy, and you don't have to agree with me, but maybe just take a minute to look. For example, in the business world, in the business coaching online space, a lot of it is like, do this process and you will get these results. And it's copying someone else's. Or I've heard so many times people say like, I'm not here to like rewrite the script or like redo it a new way. Like someone else has already done it for me. And that drives me insane. It triggers me, first of all, probably because a couple things. I had a conversation with my friend Ariana, who is a business coach, about this. And it does work to some degree when you're copying other people's strategies, right? But like on in my body and in my intellect and what I know from astrology and also being very Aquarian, I'm like, how long does that work for though? Like, if you're going to sit here and choose to make reels like every other person out there who blew their account up during 2020, like, if you're copying them, that's not you. Like, you can 100% take a trend and create something new from it. 110%. That's why I like TikTok, because TikTok is really kind of praises originality in a sense, or like trying to find your own creative way to make it happen. But there's this online, it's just like, if you do this, you will get rewards again. Like, so tying all of in what I'm saying here is it's like, if you follow the structure that has already been made for you, you will have results. You will get rewarded. But what gets left behind? Like, okay, again, if you're somebody who's like, I don't care. I just want results. I just want to have the money. I just want to do this. Like, all the power to you. But it's like, where are you abandoning your own self and your own creativity and your own authenticity? Because that is the fingerprint that you came to this world with, not somebody else's. There's an account on Instagram, and this girl's amazing. And her account blew up with reels. Now she teaches all about reels. And that was in 2020. She's a Gemini. Of course, her reels blew up. Gemini is about communication. It's about sharing your voice and your messaging. And not to mention, the North Node was in Gemini. So that was moving over her sun. Her expression was being highlighted out into the world. Like, of course, it worked for her. Does that mean it's going to work for everyone? No. You're meant to find your own path. Did she bring something really special to the collective that others can now use? Of course. But it's not about copying. It's about being your own self, your authentic self. And here's my next point with this. In our world, like this programming has been happening since we've gone to school. And I've witnessed it in my own life and also being in the school system. Raise your hand when you're asked to. Raise your hand to go to the bathroom. Do as you're told. Be a good girl. Be a good boy. Think the same way. And if you don't, then maybe there's something wrong with you. Maybe you actually have like some sort of learning disability. And sometimes you do. But that makes you unique, man. That makes you you. It's not a disadvantage. Instead, what the disadvantage is the structure that tries to make you fit into that box to live like everyone else. What if the structure changed instead of the person? Right? What if there was no box? What if coloring outside the lines was actually rewarded, allowed? There's so many times that I was in the school and like given I worked with the kids who needed a little extra support and the expectations might have been a little less. If you wrote 2 lines on that paper, you won, man. You did a good job today. If you colored in that sheet of paper and it was all the colors that you weren't supposed to, you did a great job. And by the way, maybe this made me a really bad educational assistant, but I never, hardly ever corrected their spelling because they were doing the work. This illusion of like, we need to be perfect. We need to be like everyone else. We need to fit into this box. Smash that. Smash that. We are our own human beings. We came here with a soul blueprint to express our own unique abilities. And sometimes those overlap with other people, of course. Of course it will. Those are our peeps. We can find common ground with them. And then there's going to be people it completely clashes with and they don't understand us at all. In which case, we learn from them. That's why we're here. This is Earth School. But to turn down your own light and your own expression and your own ideas and authenticity because that's not what's going to work, in quotations, no way, man. It might take longer. Getting down that path, it's going to take you a little bit longer choosing your own route and your own off. I'll tell you that for free right now. It's going to take longer. And it's going to be a process. It doesn't happen overnight. When someone gives you a blueprint or here's a life guide for dummies, sure, you can follow that. And you're probably going to get where you want to go pretty easily. Or actually, we could go a little deeper. You might not get there easily because eventually what's going to happen is the universe is going to be like, girl, you are not on the right path. And we are going to throw boulders and rocks at you until you decide to make the change elsewhere, which happens. And you can only go that path following that book for so long until you can't anymore. And then you're forced into creating a change. Yoo-hoo, Saturn returns. And many other transits in our life. But in this case, we're just going to talk about Saturn returns. Anyway, to summarize this riff today and this tough love lesson, ask yourself, where am I dimming my own light and my own authentic abilities, creativities, expression? Where have I been trying to do what everyone else is doing because that's supposedly the right thing? If you don't like social media, screw it. Don't be on it. If you do not want to work a 9 to 5, don't do it. Find a different way. There's always a different way. And there's a different way that is better for you. If you value freedom and creativity, in a 9 to 5 corporate world is literally stifling you and you feel like you're drowning and tired and exhausted all the time, you're not on the right path. Is it going to be scary to go the other route? 100%. It's going to be really scary. But this is your life. You came here to live in your life, not the life that somebody else wants for you. You gotta let that shit go. No. It's not up to anybody else to determine the way that you live your life. If you value family, comfort, safety, and a 9 to 5 job really works for you so that you can have the weekends to explore with your family, then good for you. That's for you. But I think Saturn in Aquarius has given us this opportunity to really look at what structures within our world and in and of ourselves are aligned with our values and what aren't. I mean, we entered this through a pandemic. What are your values? And if you've never asked yourself that question before, now is the time. You can shape your life. You can shape it the way that you want to make it. Is it going to be 100% easy? No, we're at Earth School. But I will tell you something. When you are 100% authentic and yourself and you're rooted in that, you are solid. You're so solid that number one, opportunities can magnetize to you. Number two, you have a better relationship with yourself. Number three, other people are going to respect the crap out of you because you're you. You're you. And by the way, people who are like, well, you know, well, there's always somebody who's going to rebuttal what you have to say. And I'm sure someone out there is like, yeah, but that could be like a little selfish or like self-indulgent. It's like, no, you can be a kind, loving, compassionate human being and still be authentic. It's about aligning with your values and your own truth and not being a carbon copy of everyone else. Everyone else is taken. You're here to be you. And last thing I'm going to say on this is one of my biggest lessons in this lifetime is to just be myself. And that surprises a lot of people because in the last couple of years, I've really just like been like, screw it, let's do it. But for the first 10, well, actually like all of my 20s, basically, maybe the first like 20, even like 18 to 27, I think 26. I was basically being the most chameleon person you've ever seen in your life. And people have told me that. Like, I know I'm very chameleon like because I thought that by bending and choosing to be like everybody else and make everyone else like you, by being that chameleon who can change their skin was some sort of flex. And it made me exhausted. I was so tired. And it's like, no, because I wasn't being me. Like I wasn't being myself. So this is me. Is it easy? No. I'm going to be very honest with you. Like I said, it's a lesson I have to learn and come back to. Do I get better at it? Yeah, I do. And I'm really proud of it. As a 31-year-old who sits here with a headband on, crazy bun, who gets on the internet and just speaks about whatever the heck, authenticity is your key. It is the only key in this lifetime. Maybe balance. Balance is good. I'm still learning that one. Anyway, that's today's riff. We're going to end it off here. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely come say hey on Saturn Return Diaries. Remember that you came here to be you. Saturn is always listening, and you have full permission to go live your dreams. So go do it already. I'll see you in the next episode.